سعادة الشيوخ والوزراء والشخصيات القيادية والخبراء على تشريفكم لنا للمؤتمر العالمي. إن شاء الله راح نبدأ المحور الأول للمؤتمر أفضل التطبيقات العلمية لمنظومة الابتكار. يتفضل سعادة الأستاذ مسفر آل الشيخ لإدارة الجلسة.
افتح المايك أستاذ مسفر. المايك.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أتمنى أن الصوت إنه يكون واضح.
اي واضح. تقول ابتدي يا أستاذ مسفر.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. It's a great honor to be the first session management, and first of all, I have to thank Dr. Hanadi Mbaraki for all efforts that she did for this conference. And we will start with, inshallah, four of the experts who participate in this conference. I think it's better to just give them a chance to introduce themselves when they start their talk. This is the best way, because I don't have enough background about their exactly. Those who will participate with us, inshallah, today in the first session will be the first Al-Jawhara bin Turki Al-Atayshan, and also Dr. Fatma Thalab. Also, Ms. Abir Al-Hamad and Mr. Krishnan Najathan. We will start now with Al-Jawhara Al-Atayshan, Her Excellency Al-Jawhara Al-Atayshan, to start and to introduce herself. This is the best way. أستاذ الجوهرة.
ابتدي في اللي بعدها. عندها حالة عزاء.
طيب الآن نبتدي مع we can start with دكتورة فاطمة ثلاب.
السلام عليكم.
السلام عليكم.
I have في عندي PowerPoint.
You can share it, no problem.
They have already. I sent for them before.
Dr. Fatma, if it's possible, please to introduce yourself for the audience.
In the beginning, I want to thank my dear Dr. Hanadi to share in this special conference, really. I will talk about the innovation journey in Kuwait. I want to introduce graduated from Kuwait University from medical school, and I got my specialty in pediatric from Dublin in 1990. Then I got my PhD in biomedical engineering from University of Brunel in UK. I am the founder and
دكتورة فاطمة, we cannot hear you. If it's possible to try to.
دكتورة فاطمة, شركة التقنية تقول إن حضرتك عندك الإنترنت أو هذا ضعيف، على أساس إن وإذا حابة شير سكرين إذا تفضلين، ولا تبين نشغل من عندنا. النت مبين كلش ضعيف عندك. قطع معهم.
دكتورة فاطمة, did you hear us?
شنو الحل يعني؟ Then I will arrange for the net and take the second guest till I arrange my net.
الأخت الجوهرة ثواني وتدخل، فيا ليت يبتدي كرشنا ولا تبتدي عبير.
عبير الحمادي. If it's okay, no problem. We can start now with Ms. Abir Al-Hamadi. I think Ms. Abir Al-Hamadi, she's the She's the Director of Innovation of and Economic Development in Qatar Foundation. She can start, please.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. مساكم الله بالخير جميعا. First of all, it's a great honor to have the opportunity to participate in this GCC platform. Please allow me to introduce myself first. My name is Abir Al-Hammadi. I'm Director of Innovation and Economic Development in Qatar Foundation. My academic background is in biotechnology from Wales, UK, and then I have MBA from HAC Paris campus in Qatar. My professional experience is in the field of technology transfer and the intellectual property protection and commercialization of early stage technology. I've been working for more than 13 years within the Qatar Foundation Research Development and Innovation arm, particularly leading the Office of Technology Transfer. If you allow me, I would share my presentation to the audience. Let me.
You can just press the share screen. I think it's the greenish one.
I did. Can you see my presentation?
Yeah, it's up here.
Okay. So today I will speak about my experience working in technology transfer and what we have done and how we move forward. So again, I will introduce briefly the activities of the foundation for those who are not familiar with the foundation, what we are moving now and how we build on it for the future.
Sorry, Ms. Abir, for interruption. If it's possible to just keep it a full screen.
It is full screen for me,
it's not.
But
maybe this is technology. Yeah, you can press this one.
I did. So is it appearing as a full screen now?
No, it's the same. Maybe they can, the technical part department, they can do it.
Could you please just stop sharing and share again the whole screen, not the PowerPoint?
Okay, wait, I will try to do it again. Entire screen, you mean?
Yes. Yeah, it's good now.
So is it good now?
We didn't see the PowerPoint. Can you share it again? I think it's better. Technical department, if you can interfere, please.
So can you see it?
Yeah, we see the.
Yeah.
And now as a full screen?
It's not.
I'm not sure what is the problem because what I see in the front of
I think
me
no
is
problem now. You can continue just to save time. Yeah.
Okay. So as I was saying, of course, the foundation have three active active in three sectors, which is education, higher education, community development, and also research and development. It is the main actor fulfilling the Qatar National Vision, which was launched in 2008, of transforming the Qatari economy to a more of a knowledge-based economy. Just briefly, as I say, the foundation has been active in funding and creating research institutes within Qatar since 2006. We have a national research fund, which funds almost many activities in the universities and the research institutes. We have an education city with the branch campuses from international and US-based campuses. We have our own homegrown university, which is Hamad bin Khalifa University, with their own research institutes, independent research institutes. So I lead the Office of Industry Development and Knowledge Transfer, which is mainly the technology transfer office, a centralized office within the foundation. We interact with all the research community within the foundation and almost in Qatar, which is funded by the foundation. We also interact with the science and technology part within the foundation. So since 2013, when we created the office, we've been building, we've been capitalizing on the global university campuses research centers outcome. We've been capitalizing on the international partnership that we have and the talent that we attracted within the research institutes. So we built the office and we built the early tools for knowledge management and commercialization. We have our database, and we receive almost 100 new ideas each year from our research community. We developed the first IP policy within the foundation, and within the database, we created our processes in which we evaluate every idea to the international standard. We created committees in which we decide which ideas is valid enough to invest in terms of protection of intellectual property, or in terms of market fit and development, to an innovative product, and so on. And we've been active in marketing those technologies, early stage technologies, and commercialize them to the community. Since 2018, we've been successful in licensing those ideas to the private sector. We signed more than 25 licenses, and we created startups that are based on pure technologies developed within the foundation. Some of those technology are AI based, and some of them are mainly in the field of the Arabic transcription, Arabic translation, and voice-to-text technologies. So this is our very simple outflow of our management and commercialization process. We think as a management of knowledge, how we capture the idea, how we package them, how we protect them. We have laid the foundation. It's very clear to us, and it's become more of automatic work. But in terms of commercialization within the ecosystem in Qatar here, we are trying to focus more on that, because there is no fixed way to commercialize. It's a mix of skills and knowledge. So where we are now, we feel like as a community within the foundation, we have increased interest and awareness of commercialization, of developing innovative project. We work closely with our research community in order to hold hands with them to make sure that the development they do for their ideas is what the market need. We are witnessing increasing interest from the outside community in the ideas that is created within the foundation. And because of the traffic that we have and the knowledge we have within the office, we've been able to extend our services to institutes in Qatar to act as their tech transfer offices. So we provide IP management services to others, but as well as interact with many incubators within the country to solve problems for the local entrepreneur community within Qatar when they have issues related to IP as they run their business. So as I said, we actively and we try to expand our marketing efforts. We continuously and we try to increase our budget for development, because we try to speak to higher management that the more you have a quality ideas, then the more resources you need to develop those ideas, and we try as much as we can to engage with industry. Those are examples of commercialization opportunity or announcement marketing materials that we do in our website, how we convert the science into an easy language for people to understand the innovation coming from the foundation. We constantly try to educate our researcher, provide guidebooks, provide various workshops in which to maintain the interest and level of the activities that we do in the office. So being in the field for now almost 10 years, and I think tech transfer or commercialization of early stage technology, there is no short-term solutions or magic will happen. You need to plan midterm, to have midterm objective to long-term. And from my very humble experience, the best way to keep the innovation coming from the research community and to build on that, and to make the innovation sustainable is first in the midterm is to increase the foot traffic of industry to the academic institution. And you do that by facilitating co-funding. Make it easy for industry to collaborate with academics. Make it easy to have those contracts. Don't negotiate hardly on IP, and make those interaction easy. Also activate consultancy. Make your researcher interact with industry, solve their problem, even if it's not a pure research, because the more the researcher knows about the industry around them, the better the quality of their research. And train your researcher how to talk to industry. This is very important, because as your portfolio increase, it is hard for you to maintain every idea and every project. You need to train your researcher on how to do that. For the long term, I think we need to invest heavily in changing the mindset within our community. I think in Qatar or in GCC in general, we need to be active with others in building the tech community. It's still a young community within the university. The bigger the community, the more we benefit as an academic or research and intensive organization. We try to be there in events and networking, to work with the young entrepreneurs, the fintech industry and other incubators. Try to have a cozy relationship with the decision maker in the country, with the regulators, because once you create a startup, you want to keep them interacting locally to benefit the economy, as well as you don't want them to get head to head with the regulator, because what they offer is something innovative. And I think Mr. Hussein from the Sharjah Science Park have touched on that, and I agree completely with him. Finally, sustain your brand and communicate your objective, why you are doing that, because it is still traditional thinking is there, and you need to make the community believe in what you are doing to sustain your budget and to sustain your activity and build on that. Apologies if that I'm not aware how many minutes I'm take, but I hope you found the information useful. Thank you very much. You are muted, I think, Mr. Misfer.
Sorry, it's on mute. It's okay. 5 minutes is okay. Because there are many sessions will start after us.
Unless if you have any question or I don't know, any of the participant. I'm
يا
done
هلا
with my
حبيبتي عبير. حبيبتي عبير our protocol ما في عندنا Q&A. تشرفنا فيك حبيبتي. مباشرة بس في راوند تيبل، والراوند تيبل فقط السبيكر يسوون ديسكشن مع بعض. حبيبتي ما في Q&A لأن المنصة مالت منصة الذكاء الاصطناعي مباشرة يصير لهم ماتشنج مع حضرتك.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Ustad Abir, and I think now we'll try to start with Mr. Krishnan, if he's ready to give a chance for others to ready, inshallah.
Thank you very much. First of all, Dr. Hanadi, many thanks. I am honored to be invited to speak to this audience, and I must congratulate the entire GCC community of innovation practitioners for the initiative that you have taken. This is quite comprehensive as a conference. In my experience working with innovation over the last many years, I've discovered that today everyone understands the need for innovation. Governments have actually provided a lot of support for supporting innovation. There are funding available, there are facilities available, there are investors available. However, there's one thing that's still missing, and that is that we need to make sure that our ideas are designed to succeed. By that, I mean, the reason why I say that is that I take an inspiration from an article wrote by 3 gentlemen in 2006. And they said, business innovation is about new value. It is not about things. Innovation is relevant only if it creates value for customers. Because at the end of the day, they are the ones who are opening the wallets and making sure that they are paying things and making a difference for the organization. And that's why I want to talk about how do you make sure that you are truly innovating and developing something that's of value to clients. When you talk about this, you have to consider 2 things when talking about innovation. You need to consider markets and product. You want to make sure that the customer problem that you are dealing with is truly real. Today, the world is having tremendous problem with sustainability. The Sustainable Development Goals probably are one of the best ones to base your problem solving on, your innovation on. Unfortunately, a lot of innovation is not based on that. It's based on games and things like that. The second one that you need to make sure that the customers will pay for solving the problem, and we can scale marketing. Without scale and without the ability of customers to pay, you will not have a innovation. But when developing the product, we also need to make sure that we can solve the problem and deliver it, and our solutions work. These are the 4 things that I always ask people to make sure when they are working on innovation. Unfortunately, we don't have a long time to work on innovation because it's very expensive. Unless you have results, you don't have money. And without money, you can't deliver innovation. So the challenge for innovators is always to be able to build a business case to show that you can actually innovate. And that is where a lot of the experts are coming and telling them how to do that. When you're doing innovation, please remember that in every industry, there are 3 types of things that happen. There are pioneers, and I'm using a method that Simon Wardley made very famous. In every industry, there are pioneers. These are people who create new things. They build on what others have done. They don't need to discover new things. They build on what others have done. Somebody like Apple, never invented anything on its own. They developed based on what others have done. At the other end of the spectrum, there are people who are extraordinarily good at creating commodities, efficiencies, and large capacities. In between the two of them lie some brilliant people called the business guys. They are very good at taking innovations. They are very good at taking commodities and combining them into great businesses. You need all these three types of people, without which innovation will never happen. One person can never play all these three roles. Very few examples exist of where somebody plays all these three roles. So you remember when starting on an innovation, what you want to do. You can never become the commodity player, the large scale player when you start. You always have to start at either being the person who will create the business model and create valuable business, or the person who is going to create very valuable new ideas, pioneers new things. In our view, there are three things that people need to consider when working on innovation. And that's what the entire ecosystem needs to enable. The entire ecosystem needs to enable three things. One is that, do we discover the right opportunity? Are we working on the right problem? Second, are we developing a solution that people will buy? That's very important. Is it viable? And the third one is that, can we make sure that we have a prototype that we can test customer viability, and do we have a good enough business case to put in resources? If we can do all these three very, very fast, then the ecosystem will succeed. We believe that this sort of a thing should be done in 8 to 10 weeks with every idea, not more. You can't work a year on doing this. You need to do this in 8 to 10 weeks of time. And to do this, you need to check three things. Do you have a problem and a solution fit? Do you have a product and a market fit? And do you have a business model fit? All three are important. The problem and solution fit, make sure that you're working on the right things. The product and market fit, make sure that you are developing something that is fitting in the market. And the business model fit will make sure that you will make profits out of this. All three are absolutely essential. So what do you do in the first case? I ask people to describe the problem. You are always starting with a hypothesis. If you can't describe the hypothesis of why this problem is important and what is required, why does it need to be done, you have a big challenge. So this is the first thing that you need to do. You need to describe your hypothesis in terms of what is the job that is getting done and what problems of the customer, what gains of the customer will it deliver. The next question that will always come up is that, can we meet customers and interview them? Whenever I work with innovators, I ask them one question: has your problem description changed since you started? If somebody's problem description does not change, it means that they haven't met enough customers. Meet customers and validate that you truly have a problem that is worth solving. Look at how they are currently doing it and figure out if it is not currently viable. Electric vehicles, for example, were developed in the 1800s, and the first electric car was developed way back before Mr. Henry Ford developed a car. But it didn't sell. It was simply because at that point of time, that solution was not important for the customers. They had other solutions that were far better. So that is the reason. So whenever you're working on ideas, please make sure that you are meeting customers and making sure that you are addressing what is important to customers. The third one is that, having done all of that, please ensure that you have a market size. Do you have a market size of one person, or do you have market size of millions? or do you have in thousands? This is very important for every innovation. You can't innovate for one person. You will have to innovate for a large market. Second, are they willing to pay? A lot of time people are happy to give you a thank you note, but are they willing to open the wallets and fund your ideas? That is very, very important when it comes to innovation. This is what we see the ecosystem, the VCs, the investors looking for when they look for funding problems. So when they are funding startups, this is the first thing that they are looking for. Do you have a valid problem that the people are solving? Once you have done that, what the customer inputs do is that they help you learn quickly. You can do pilot studies, you can do market research, they are very slow process. You can prepare business plans, again, they are slow process. What happens very fast is meeting customers, interviewing them, preparing sketches, preparing value proposition canvas. These are ultra fast methods of validating whether you really have a problem to solve. Having done the solving the problem, you need to make sure that you can actually deliver a solution for the problem. To do that, you need to describe what is it that you're going to do, identify what you're going to do, and what are the key functions that you want to do. We always suggest that start in biteable steps. Don't try to solve the entire problem. You can't go to Mars today. Mr. Elon Musk didn't aspire to build the vehicle, the Mars transport vehicle in the first day. He wanted to build a rocket first. So you need to look at the problem solution fit and look at what customer value proposition are you delivering and build an initial prototype. The initial prototype could be something on paper, which will excite people. So it could be a website, it could be a paper, it could be a model that you build with 3D printing and so on. The next step, whenever you're doing, is validating the solution. And that is by, again, going with the solution to customers. What is the minimum feature set that we want? What is can we test the hypothesis that this solution works? Usually you need to prepare some sort of prototypes in this one. There are multiple ways of doing it. This is the process we call as the customer discovery process. Here you develop the offering and also develop the business model. You can do it with direct input with customers or by indirect observation of customers. You can do it both ways. And you can depend on you can do it based on what customers do with the product or what customers say about the product. So you can actually develop a lot of prototypes and do this extremely smartly in terms of testing a concept and making sure that you have a solution that is truly valued. In this process, what you will discover is that you can be able to do pivoting. You will be able to make changes. This is what Agile is all about. You can iterate without crisis. You can do things, change things in two ways. You can have a crisis and change, or you can do it without crisis. If you are an innovator, you should do it without crisis. And you should do it many, many times. The faster you do development, the faster you validate things, that's when it's very important.
If it's possible for the time, please.
Yep. One more slide.
Yeah.
What we ask people to do is that you can do all of this in something like 8 weeks. You can actually manage to do in 8 weeks, discovering opportunity to preparing a concept for backers. You can do it in 8 weeks. It takes time. It takes very little time to discover. If you use a structured process, you can do it in 1 week. You can discover solutions in 4 weeks. You can discover concepts in 2 weeks. And you can actually prepare an investment note in 2 weeks. And you can make sure that you are working on a viable product on an investment case and get funding all in 8 weeks. We believe that this method works very brilliantly with people. Multiple companies have used this approach and they have been able to churn things very fast. And this is one of the things that we help innovation ecosystems with. We work with business parks, with accelerators, and using this methodology to deliver innovation extremely fast. So if you want to discuss more about this, you can contact me on my email. You can write to me at krishnan@thinkhorizonconsulting.com or call me. I'm happy to discuss further with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Krishnan. And we can have the next expert, Dr. Fatma Tallab, please, if she started. She's ready, I think.
Yes, I'm ready now. If possible to just put the PowerPoint, please, the presentation. Is it clear?
You can share it.
Okay. In the beginning, I want to thank.
Dr. Fatma, if you wanted to share yourself.
No, okay, I will just talk. No need to share the screen.
It's okay.
In the beginning, I want to thank Dr. Hanadi to share with you this special conference, really. And I'm so glad to join all special guests and colleagues in this very important conference. In the beginning, to introduce myself, I'm Dr. Fatma Tallab. I'm graduated from Kuwait University in medical school. Then I specialize in pediatric. I got my PhD in biomedical engineering in Brunel. I'm the founder and the head of Kuwait Society for Inventor Support and Creativity. I'll talk about the Kuwait journey for innovation. The stages of innovation in Kuwait started from 1960. The stage one started from 1960 up to 1975. The journey started by the law number 16 for the intellectual property protection. Throughout 60s and 70s, resilient infrastructure was being built across the country following the most successful practice and planning and management, which Kuwaiti were keen on studying and implementing this infrastructure. Then Kuwait Institute for Scientific Research, which is a distinguished national institute for science, feature established in 1967 by Arab Oil Limited Company. On 1973, Amiri Decree rearranged the KISAR to be belonging to the Council of Ministers. It has the following research centers: petroleum, water, environment and life science, and energy building. More than 580 researchers and engineers working in KISAR and distributed in 100 labs and 9 locations. In 11 August 1974, Kuwait Science Club was established aiming to spread the culture of science in the community. It was under the umbrella of Ministry of Social Affairs as a public benefit association. Yearly since October 2007, the Kuwait Science Club established the International Middle East Invention Fair, which is now most famous in the Gulf. The vision of Sheikh Jabir Al-Ahmed Al-Jabir Al-Sabah, who was believed that sustainable development requires a knowledge-driven economy powered by highly competitive organization and individual in both private and public sector. This is the second stage, actually. It was started in 1976 to 1999. The visionary configuration recognized the need for a special institute that would dedicate its effort and resources to spreading a thriving culture of science and technology and innovation for sustainable Kuwait. Amiri Decree was issued in December 12, 1976, announcing the establishment of Kuwait Foundation for the Advance of Science, KFAS. Define the foundation as a non-profit organization that aims to stimulate and encourage advancement and stimulate and advancement of STI for the benefit of the society research in the state of Kuwait. KFAS also focused on developing a real-time innovation and advanced solution addressing critical area of national priority such as energy and its resources, an issue that was addressed by His Highness Emir of Kuwait in Vision of 2030. When we go to Kuwait University, started to the journey of innovation on 1979. It was concentrating on the applied science research and publication. From 2010 to 2016, University got around 44 patents in different departments. The third stage started from 1990 up to 2015. KFAS established Sabah Al-Ahmed Center for Giftedness and Creativity as an incubator for creative and outstanding students on one side and Kuwaiti inventors on the other side. It established on 2010, aiming to guide, develop, and protect the IP for the individual inventors. Since then, Sabah Al-Ahmed Center registered more than 1,340 patents by 420 inventors. The fourth stage started from 2016 up now. On December 2016, Kuwait Society for Inventor and Innovation Support was established, and it was authorized by the Ministry of Social Affairs, where it gives the technical, legal, scientific support to the individual and the community to seek support in the field of innovation. In May 2019, the remarkable initiative of the late Sheikh Sabah Al-Ahmed Al-Sabah, Kuwait initiated a National Innovation Center, and it was announced to build up the need for infrastructure and ecosystem for entrepreneurs in the field of innovation, business, and acceleration and development of patent. Thank you.
Shukran, Dr. Fatma. Thanks, Dr. Fatma. Actually, this is the final speech in our session, and sorry for getting late for the time. And thank you for the audience, for the participant, to give us some of your valuable time. Now we can transfer the mic to others, please.